Sandringham Yacht Club and the shallow waters of Port Phillip Bay played host to the Aberdeen Asset Management 2014-15 Farr 40 Australian Series Victorian state title. It's the first time the Aberdeen Asset Management Farr 40 Australian Series has come to Victoria, and conditions proved very challenging, even for the most experienced sailors. For the third year in a row, Aberdeen Asset Management is the sponsor, and the event began on the Thursday night with a twilight race.
This is the first regatta that we've been at in the Farr 40s. It's been one of the Aberdeen Asset regattas. We had great fun on the sponsors race last night. It was pretty breezy, but it was good fun, and I'm, appreciate that corporate companies like Aberdeen get involved with our sport, assist us, bring new people in to see what we do, and maybe to appreciate the efforts that we're making. And there's obviously, a relationship that builds between the class and the company.
The sponsors race last night went very well. It was windy, and we had some wide-eyed guests on board, but at the end of the day I think it was a great success.
A couple were a little bit thrown about by the rough conditions, but it was very exciting. And we're looking forward to a really exciting series. We're delighted to be back again this year for the third year of our partnership with the Farr 40 Association, and this really kicks off the season well.
It's the first time that we've been able to be in Victoria and in Melbourne. We find this is an exciting opportunity.
It's nice to be here at Port Phillip. As long as it doesn't rain, I'm happy. Wind is good. We expected wind. And I think we'll have a great weekend here with the swell and the forecast, so we're looking forward to an exciting weekend. We didn't really know who would be our threats. Well, I didn't coming into this event, so it was really great to see how well kindergarten were doing today. Every time I looked, they were always there. They were always in the port and starboard with us. They were just ahead of us or just behind us, so they've done fantastic.
Our goal has been to try and be close to the leading bunch of Transfusion and Voodoo Child. So we're certainly exceeding our expectations in terms of results on the board. I grew up down here. This used to be my home club, so it's great to be back on home water. Certainly brings back memories, all good. We had a good day. Tricky conditions sort of early, settled down a bit through the day, and yeah, really enjoyable.
The two new boats in the fleet that are doing extremely well are Kindergarten and Zen, and did we expect them to do that well? Well, we were going to give them credit with the fact they might, but to be honest, they're probably exceeding our expectations at this point in time.
It's my first regatta on the back of the boat with the boys. I did do one event a couple of weeks ago in Pittwater, in the middle of the boat. So I must say the middle of the boat is probably a bit more my style than the back of the boat, but I'm giving it a go, so we'll see if I pass the test.
Racing was close. There are various ups and downs. We've ended up in third. We're happy enough with that, but not totally delighted.
The weather today is southerly, turning southwesterly, 20 to 25, sometimes gusting a little bit more. I think it's going to be a really good racing day.
Today we'll be taking roughly 50 guests out on the boat that you see behind us here, which will be a very nice boat for our guests. Hopefully it won't be too rough.
The conditions today were very rough. We had plenty of wind on. Yeah, we started off well and then had a few little hiccups along the way which put us back, but yeah, the crew's improving with every race. We haven't experienced sort of waves like this in upwind, downwind racing, so yeah, it's all a new experience for us and we're learning every time, so hopefully tomorrow we can get up a bit higher and beat double black. It'd be good.
Our aim for the regatta was to try and benchmark where we're at the moment and try and get as close to the other guys as we can. It's really competitive and a lot of fun out there. Our crew's all local based guys and they're loving it. They really know the waters around here really well, which I think is great. It's very windy at the moment, which probably helps too. We're pretty used to sailing in choppy waves at times, so it's having a great time.
Well, I've got to say it was amazing to be still on top of the leaderboard because it was such hard sailing. We felt that we were just being sort of drummed down by all the other guys behind us, but somehow we managed to keep in front of them. The Hun and I had quite a lot of fun. You know, the teams were really pumped up, and you know there was a lot of surfing opportunities, and I think Voodoo Child did really well to be boat of the day today. So well done to Andrew and his team. Where the surfing was just fantastic. Nice steep chop, getting onto it and just sort of wiggling down, and my boys telling me, hey Guido, slow it down, don't wiggle so much. And I said, I'd like to wiggle. Ed Ake was in there at one stage, and so Jeff Carter was doing very well. He had certainly a much better day than yesterday, and it was great for him.
The pressure was much harder today, and so we were lucky enough to get some good starts, certainly the first start. Much better than yesterday. We had two very poor starts. That's the thing with sailing. You have one day was a really bad day, the next day was a pretty good day actually. We were facing the world champions and that, or ex-world champions, but definitely world champions in the Voodoo Child. So today we were third boat on the course. We were very happy.
The conditions today are going to be a bit otherwise. As you may see, it's raining now and it's pretty damn windy, and the sea out here gets very, very lumpy because it's quite shallow and it gets very bumpy, and it's quite tricky to helm in. So interesting stuff, Cold, wet, raining and lumpy. Hallelujah, this is sailing.
Typically going downwind at speeds of around 15 knots, that's about 25 kilometres an hour. It seems extremely fast because you've got spray blowing back onto you, you're down right at the water level, there's a lot of noise from the water running past, and there's a lot of dialogue going on within the crew to keep the yacht in balance. It's great fun, it's one of the things that as sailors we live for, these days where you get out there and put the hammer down.
It's tough because you need the rest of the fleet to get in the mix. And as it's breezier, you know, I think that they're probably just to click off the manoeuvres and crew work involved. So I think it's going to be a two-horse race. Hopefully Jonesy can get back up there today and mix it up. But unfortunately, the point gap we left him on the first day, I think we're going to struggle to make up. But anyway, we'll take it to him, see how it works out.
Led the last race until the last 200 yards. But the best day was Jeff Carter, who had two great wins.
The competition here is very stiff, I think, and it's quite remarkable to see somebody like Rod Jones coming into this fleet and doing so well in his first regatta.
Race 9 was good. We were with Team Transfusion. I think we actually led around all the marks except for the most important one at the end, and she got inside us at the jibe. We had a bit of a slow set. She got inside us at the windward mark. We got right back to her, and I think at the end we split off just to try and see if we could grab it, but I would say she probably beat us by boat length or so in the end. It was very close together racing all the way down the last downwind.
We were battling with Rod Jones on kindergarten for most of the race. We were quite close, and there was some lifts and knocks, and he was playing that better than we were, but somehow on the last run we just managed to have more speed downhill, and there was some great surfing today. I loved it. Lots of wiggling going on, but not too much to appease my crew today.
This sounds very strange, but in some respects it's good to finish the regatta knowing we've got a lot more work to do, because there's a lot more motivation to do that rather than to cruise along thinking, oh, we're actually getting there. But I think today showed why Team Transfusion's a former world champion and the top boat in the country, and Voodoo and the other experienced teams like Ed Acre are very strong, so we've got some work to do.
You know, our own position, I mean, we just take every regatta as it comes. We can be beaten, and we're always out there for the battle, and we've got the usual suspects chasing us down, but you know, what we've got to do is just make sure we're on top of our game. We're always learning. This is a game that doesn't matter how well you've sailed in the past, you know, it's always things to learn, and we love the class for that. It's a great class for learning. A lot of people who push each other, and that's part of the reason we're here.
The Transfusion crew, solid as always, were clearly ahead of the rest of the fleet in winning the regatta, and we extend our congratulations to them.